Is Ifan from the Strategic Day Trader, and this is your market wrap for October 29th, 2019. Q's down 0.74, SPY going to be down a little bit, more or less flat. And we saw some very interesting divergence right from the open. We haven't really seen a lot of that lately. So that was pretty interesting. Does that mean it's time for a pullback on the Qs and SPY? I think that's what we could get. Otherwise, if that's not, that divergence isn't suggesting that, then we're getting some market rotation. SPY might be leading the next leg up. Okay, so still going to be bullish going into tomorrow. Hourly uptrend is still intact here on the Qs and the SPY. Qs came in a little bit more, but just doing the pullback into support. Okay, so still going to be bullish tomorrow, and just like today, the focus will be the gaps that we get, the earnings names that we get. Okay, so I thought something a little bit more interesting today. I did think it made the morning a little bit sloppier to have that divergence between the Qs. You can see the Qs got sold right away. SPY actually ran up to the new highs right before doing the pullback along with the Qs. So we'll see if we get a more pullback in the days to come. But overall market bias going into tomorrow still gonna be bullish. Now I know today most of you did not get to trade with me today. Today I want to give a little bit more focus to the one-on-one clients. So we got a chance to review some trades and review some setups as the day was going on while the market is live, because normally I am moderating in the room, so we don't get a chance to do that. If you didn't get a chance to trade with me today, don't worry. Tomorrow we'll be back to our normal schedule for sure. If anything, I might end up doing the open tomorrow, but we'll see. I'll definitely be there tomorrow. But for those of you in coaching, you got to kind of talk with me a little bit more throughout the day. Okay, but let's go ahead and review some of the trades from today. All right, starting with the grub. Grub, really big gap down. Did discuss with someone today that this was a pretty big gap. I thought there was potential for this maybe to get bought off of this support, but ultimately I don't have a strategy for this, so there wasn't going to be any way for me to play this long. All right, it was still a pro gap. So because it wasn't novice, because it didn't go climactic, didn't really have any means, no play to call here to play this long, ended up getting sold right from the get-go. So I saw a very nice 2-minute 1, 2, 3 there. That ended up being kind of the play of the day there. 1, 2, 3 right off the open there. I thought the gap was a little bit too big into some longer term support, so I let that one go. But I think this one was one of the best movers really from the open. So very nice follow through on the grub, right? Big gap, but getting sold. So I think a little bit in line with some of the bearishness that we saw today. We did go over the NXPI. I thought this was not a bad breakout here on the NXPI. I liked the gap. Just ended up being a little bit too spready and jumpy. And so this one is okay, I think, to keep an eye on in the days to come. This isn't going to be a bullish way to finish out the day here, but we might get some bullishness, because I did like the way that this was breaking out, kind of this weekly range. So I thought it was a pretty good setup, just wasn't ready to follow through. Ended up being a little bit jumpier and spreadier than I thought it would be. So that could set up for later. The SLCA in the morning also, if you could get filled. We don't get penny bases like this frequently at all anymore. But you see something like this. Level 2 was good as well if you happen to catch the level 2. All right, so the SLCA, very nice penny base and breakdown there. Good pro gap on the SLCA. So if it had been coming from this downtrend, you would start to be looking a little bit more novice, but that consolidation there prior to the gap down helps to keep that from being novice. So the big issue was getting filled on this. Once it was ready to go, you know, and this is already dropping, you're not really going to get filled because this is on an uptick, okay, on the SLCA. But beautiful pattern there. The nicest, I think, of the setups that we got this morning. And then the afternoon here, the OI is what we went after here on this. Nice pro gap, gapping against the trend here, and then clearing some support. Okay, so did a bit of a sell setup and took some time to get going here, right? Broke underneath here. The numbers were under 90 by 12, 912, 890 by 912. Also on an uptick, getting filled was a little bit of a challenge. Did have to get filled on the way back up. And then also had to be patient with this one. Finally came in and got to a target one here into the close. We only have 8 minutes or left, so I think it's one that probably should be closed out soon here, if not already. But nice 15-minute, nice 15-minute sell setup, actually set up a potential add. But this is the little 15-minute sell we're looking at, breakdown, and then wasn't looking too great there on the OI, and then eventually got the follow through near the end of the day. So good patience on this one, I thought. Really, the difference between a winning play and a losing play was, you know, letting it play out. Hourly did hold, as long as you didn't kind of try to trail it to the penny there. That OI ended up holding okay. I think if you got the grub also, trailing that on the hourly, it wasn't too bad. Did go from new lows right into that trail there. Trailed right around 1 o'clock. So we do see that pretty often. That's why that reversal time not only is good kind of for entries, but we see a lot of times things bottom over lunch, especially if they've been trending all morning. Okay, so that grub, pretty nice play. Jealous of those that did take it. That was some nice follow through. Thought the gap was too big, but there's plenty more selling to be done there. And SLCA stayed pretty weak. Even after that morning drop gave another breakdown. So there were a few of these, especially to the short side, that really gave nice moves. I think some of the longs really struggled. I did see energy get bought kind of late into the morning. But other than that, I think a lot of the opportunities were really to the short side. And so that's why I think the market divergence we're getting is probably suggesting that we get some kind of pullback in the days to come. We'll see how deep that pullback is. I think that's really going to be how we're going to determine whether or not it's a bullish pullback or not. If we pull back just into this 194 area, then that'll be still into support. We can rally from there. That'll still be a nice, healthy uptrend. But, you know, going into tomorrow, still going to be the same bullish bias. I know we've had the bullish bias now for a couple weeks here. Q's made new highs yesterday. SPY made new highs today. And so the bullishness continues, but just expect that sell-offs will get bought. All right. So, you know, I think all in all today, I thought there were some decent movers. Nothing really all that perfect as far as setups go. So I think if you were picky today, then you did a really good job. Hopefully you stayed out of trouble. And even better, hopefully you caught some of these nice moves, okay? If you're in the strategic day trader, just know that tomorrow we will be back to most likely our regular schedule. If not, then you'll have me all day. All right, so you might have not been able to trade with me today, but tomorrow we'll be back in the room and be back at it. All right, hopefully you did well today. If not, we'll be back at it tomorrow. All right, have a good evening.